So let me ask you a question. Going forward, like, how do you feel about the Nuggets going forward? Because there's a lot of talk of like, is this the beginning of a Nuggets dynasty? Do you feel like the Nuggets will be able to repeat with the team they have now?
I absolutely love the Nuggets. The Nuggets, look, if there's any team for the Heat to lose against, I'm glad it's the Nuggets. To me, I feel like the Nuggets, like I said earlier, I think they're ushering a new era of like how we build these teams. I can kind of talk about Jokic in this too. Is like I love Jokic. I love his personality. I like how he's just a humble dude. He's not narcissistic at all. He's all about just like, it's that typical kind of like European mindset where it's like he's not about the flashiness. He's just about like, being like in the moment, just worrying about like things outside of basketball. He treats it as like a job, not like his life. But outside of the team, I love the way they play. It reminds me of like early 2000s of like a lot of playmaking with like Steve Nash and Allen Iverson and like the Detroit Pistons, where it's kind of opening up the court. I think since this big three era, we've gone so much to like one guy trying to take on the whole world. And I think a lot of that's due to because they think people see people like guys like Steph Curry and LeBron James, but not everybody's Steph Curry. Not everybody's LeBron James. You can't just drop 50 all the time. It's like, I like the fact that the Nuggets are taking this different approach where it's like, we find the hottest guy. Jokic is a mastermind and has insane vision, especially for a center. To be able to make things happen and make plays happen. And I think people are seeing the success that is going to be. And I don't think there's anybody that can beat that, because I truly believe the only people that can really beat a team like that is if they do it as well. And unless other teams start stepping into that role of like, look, I mean, they tried it all series of like these guys that are trying to like drop 40, 50 on them. But at the end of the day, it's like if you're working as a team, you're working hard, you're working smarter, not harder. And we saw that with the Heat, for example, in the finals. You saw the Heat, like it felt like the Heat were trying their hearts out, but then the Nuggets were just making it seem so easy.
No.
And it's like utilize the 5 players that are on the court. And I absolutely love the Nuggets. I think that to me, they're a front runner to win again. I think this could be the next Golden State kind of era. And I mean, and they don't have an expensive roster either. I mean, you could even add another piece on there. Like, I would love to see the Euro connection and bring a Luka Doncic over there. Even though I don't think it's going to happen. But I would love to see that. But even so, I mean, who else is going to come up to them? Like, let's be real. I mean, the Lakers? Like, at the end of the day, like, Anthony Davis is not stood up. Golden State, I don't know how much longer they could be a competitor, because it seems like one year they're off, the next year they're like super strong and stuff. But like the Suns, you don't really know what you're going to get with the Suns. It seems like they haven't really, like, I don't know, they've never really felt as good as they should be. To me, the Nuggets they look so dominant, and I love the style. I feel like they're bringing that Euro style to American basketball, and just the way they all mesh together, I think it works super well. I think we kind of seen it with like the Celtics. We've kind of seen it with the Heat, with like just building a culture. But I think the Nuggets have actually like really perfected it, and that's why I would love to see the Heat and Pat Riley kind of take that approach of like, how can we like work this team together? Because we've seen elements of it from the Heat of being able to do that. But I think they're just kind of missing the pieces. But I guess like for you, like, what do you think of the Nuggets? And like, do you think does this solidify like Jokic as like one of the greatest centers of all time? To me, he's the best player on the planet.
Yeah,
and it's not even close.
I mean, physically, he should have won another. He should have won a third MVP. Honestly, the guy physically, like,
has anybody done that either? Like 3 in a row?
It's gonna be like Kobe. It's gonna be like Kobe. You gotta go Kobe, MJ. He's gonna be like something like that. As far as he probably should have won another MVP. I understand Joel was possibly could have got it, but I felt like he should have won a third one. Whatever the powers that be. So
I think so many people got obsessed with the points. They got so obsessed with the point aspect.
But the guy is averaging like a triple-double. He's averaging a triple-double. But if you can project his career going forward, like, he's going to surpass like Russell Westbrook with triple-double. Like the amount of times that he breaks the triple-double as an average. He's probably
We're not even talking about we're not even talking about like one of the best centers. We're talking about one of the greatest players to ever play at that point if he stays relatively, which is tough to play so long as a big guy, especially someone his size. But he has it, and he started late.
There is no answer. There was no answer in the series. You go look back. I mean, they pretty much the Nuggets breezed through anybody that they played, and I don't think there's an answer for him. As far as I think whenever you win a championship, obviously you're going to be a favorite going into the next season, next year, and that second champ is the second try is going to be important, right? Because you're going to solidify like, hey, this wasn't a fluke. Like, we won last year, we won this year again. So the repeat is definitely up for grabs for Denver. They're going to be obvious favorites going forward. And the only question they have right now on their roster is Bruce Brown. I think Bruce Brown is a free agent after this. He had a player option. So I feel like he should probably come back. He was decent for them. And they're going to be obvious favorites. It is possible, yes, they're going to be favorites. Then they might possibly win next year. But as far as like a dynasty, we're talking about dynasty, you're talking about three-peat or 3 or 4 years where you're dominating like that. I'm not sure about that.
See, the only reason, like I'm not saying it's 100%, but the only reason why I feel this way is that it's possible is because when the Steph Curry and the Warriors came in and went on those championship runs, what did they do? Is they did something that changed the game. You had a guy like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and all these shooters that were just draining it left and right to where it was unbeatable. No one can beat them. There was no team that can match up to them because they were just reining it in left and right. And to me, I look at this Nuggets team and I look at they're doing the same thing in the sense that like they're ushering this new style that no one has been able to catch up yet. And it's going to probably take a couple years for teams to catch up to that style, because NBA has kind of gotten away from that. So I think I really do think they're going to be I think they can go back to back. I realistically think they could, because I mean, who the hell is going to stop them?
Yeah, who can stop Jokic?
I genuinely, but like no one in the West is going to stop them. Like no one for sure in the East is going to stop. Like I just think their style is just so, and then it's not even just the style, but then you have this guy who's clearly a monster, and then you have that bum Kendrick Perkins who said he's just stat padding. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You're a loser, dude. Stat padding. What the hell is stat padding? How is him averaging about 20 rebounds a game or whatever the fuck he was doing at the time when he said that? How is that stat padding? But a guy who's just driving to the hole, getting fouls and knocking out free throws and just or shooting, how's that not stat padding? Because it's not points. It's like, come on, like you're thinking 1-2-1. You're thinking way too one-dimensional. It's like at the end of the day, he's a center who's supposed to get rebounds, and if he can provide assists, which most centers normally don't, like he's doing something different and abnormal for that position. So it's like you're like, get the fuck out of here. Like that showed, like to me, it was like, bro, you're too obsessed with points to where it's like, okay, but what about like the players that drop like fucking 40 points and then you have like 5 assists? Like that's not stat padding, but like you have a guy who's literally averaging a triple double, and he was like what 30th or 50th or somewhere way down the line in like average points per game. But it's more than just shooting it's more than just points at the end of the day. And I think we kind of got away from that, and now we're getting back into. And I just think the Nuggets are just so fucking strong. Like no one's taking them down. And like you said, they only got one guy on the books that they need to figure out, and not like the Nuggets have that much to they have plenty of money to go around, so they can bring him right back. So it's like, and maybe even add a piece. So if they even want to go that route. Shout out
to Jokic and the Serbian horses that he's gonna go see. They're doing the parade. I saw the pictures today. Mike Malone drunk as hell. He sounds funny as fuck. Drunk as hell.
The clips of him like kind of like spray the bottle.
Oh, that was in the
fuck what the fuck is this? And then the next one you see him jump into the pool with like Jamal Murray, and he looks all happy. But when that whole thing, he's like, wait, when's the parade? It's like, oh,
Thursday.
Fuck. I gotta go home.
Sunday, my horses. Anyway, shout out to them. Shout out to the Nuggets. Y'all gonna be relevant. Speaking of flying out,
it's very, very refreshing to see a guy not so like obsessed with everything. He's just he just wants to like live his life.
Just want to go home, man. Just want to go home.